Our next guest, the hilarious Frank Caliendo, who joins us for the first time in a while.
Is it? I don't have trouble with words.
Yeah.
How about that? I could be president no matter where, no matter what your political inclination is. I could be president.
Yeah.
Well, what are we talking about there? Come on, folks. What are we doing? Come on. Who's talking? Right now, I'm not even sure.
Let's go Barkley and just have misinformation. That's what's going on right now. Let's talk about what's going on in the mid-season tournament, because I know less about the NBA mid-season tournament than I do about the NCAA tournament.
And that's the best thing during the NCAA tournament
is
when Charles knows less than anybody who's watched basketball all year. He's like, the guy in the blue shoes with the headband does a really good job of rebounding. He's the team manager.
Well, I saw him. He played with 3 seconds left.
You didn't watch the game, did you?
No, I spilled my coffee, and I wasn't able to get to it.
Ernie's not here. What are you doing? Yeah,
Ernie does hold it together.
Yeah. So I was listening on the way in, and you guys were talking about the mid-season tournament, and my son is so into basketball and the NBA and even college. We like to watch. We went to NBA Summer League this year. I like to watch the new guys just to see. We judge based on how guys move. It's just that's how we think we can tell who's going to be fun to watch. Paulo Banchero was 2 years ago ridiculous to watch. You just go that and who's the little guard on the Pistons from was it Purdue?
Yeah, Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey. Yeah. He was just quicker than every. Now when you get to the league, it evens out. But who separates in those NBA Summer League games? You're going, oh, this person has one thing that could be utilized that you're like, okay.
Yeah. He's going to make it, right?
Yeah, he's got a chance. At least he's got a chance. You watch somebody else, you go, oh, this guy does, other than Banchero, who did everything well, you're just like, this guy's a monster. You watch guys and you go, oh, they're a really great player, but what's the one thing that can be exploited to make your NBA team better?
Yeah.
And that's because everybody's so good. People just don't realize, you're like, these guys aren't playing any defense. No, the offense is just so good. How do you stop Kevin Durant? I was almost wolfed there. How do you stop Kevin Durant? I mean,
Devin Booker. If I could procreate with him, I would right now.
I'm excited about the Suns too. You guys were talking about this on the way in about would you be disappointed if they don't make it? If it doesn't align, and because the Lakers are 4-0 and they're 3-1 in these wacky set of games that count on Oregon-looking courts.
Yes, exactly.
I can't even pay it. Am I too old?
No.
Is that what the problem is?
The courts they're garish.
It looks like the parks in NBA 2K or something like that, where you're just waiting for players to join. I can't pay attention. I can't watch it.
I'm with you.
The gray court was on. I was like, is this grayscale? Am I looking at a Commodore 64? What's
television broken?
Right? Yeah. Am I playing in television?
Yeah.
Now I almost went Bill Walton. Am I playing in television right now? What is happening? I upgraded to Coleco. We had a garage sale. We were there playing Donkey Kong Turbo. I got the wheel that you could drive around with. And now I'm circling the moon, enjoying life as it is. Today I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Watch the documentary. I made Pash watch it 27 times. What was the question? I don't know. I didn't pay attention. So I'm looking forward to the mid-season tournament. I was thinking to myself, as most people are probably while they're driving in, do I as a fan care if they don't get in? I would be disappointed if they don't, but then I think I'd be on. I'd move on about 15 minutes later. I feel like I would.
Yeah. I think that because it's going to be a Final Four format in Vegas, right?
Yes.
See, you don't even know. You're the experts.
Well, again, it's
I think they're playing 3 guys, 3 teams go. This is what it is.
But like you,
Shaq, what is it going to be 2 guys? Shaq, you mumbled that, and you didn't even say words, and you were more correct than I just was. Bickley doesn't know how it's working. There's two guys on a pogo stick, and they have to play. They got to play a hopscotch, and then the winner, you got to play Clue to get in. And when it's Colonel Mustard in the study, it turns out that's how you get into the NBA mid-season tournament. Oh, shoots and ladders. They got to play shoots and ladders. Sorry.
What? Like you, I reflexively rebel from it because the Suns court's one of the worst in terms of the color and the scheme.
I have epilepsy. I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. I have a hard time watching these games in these courts. I really do.
Is that what is the tournament going to be? Why am I asking? You don't know.
Well, no, I would think.
It's all new to us, Frank.
NBA know?
No,
Does
I
the NBA
would
know?
think when they get to Vegas, I think then they don't need to say this game is different because you'll know it's different.
Vegas not known for being garish.
Yeah, of course they are.
It'll be like a digital floor that changes during the game.
They're going to play on the
Vegas.
outside of the sphere.
Yeah.
The sphere, they're going to actually play a 360 game, circling the Earth, not unlike the moon. The lunar eclipse, I'm ready to go. Top 5 answers are on the board. Why didn't I host Family Feud? Because they never get a word in edgewise. All those red X's being displayed on the screen. That's not even in the studio. Fast money. Here we go. I've spent the entire time asking the question you couldn't even donate to your favorite charities.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I think you hit on something. Make the Final Four in Vegas just a Bill Walton, Charles Barkley extravaganza.
Here we go. Not making sense. It's like everyone at 4 a.m. in Vegas.
Yes.
Here we are at the tables. That's really good. I'm at the roulette table right now.
Like broadcasting as
I just lost $100,000. But that's not bad. Michael's in a room. Jordan's in a room over there. MJ just lost $2 million. He doesn't care. He's going to write it off on his taxes somehow. That's how good he is at this entire thing.
Yeah, I don't. I'm interested to see the mid-season tournament, but at the same time, I don't know. It feels pushed to me. So, but back to the Suns. I love what they're. They're exciting again. I mean, that's what's great about it. And my son, I base most of the stuff on my son. He's like, well, I don't care if somebody's out because Durant's going to be there. And or Booker's going to be there, so somebody's going to be playing pretty much, except for Bradley Beal, every night.
Right.
Which I can't wait till they get him back. But I don't know. It's so tough.
Yeah, listen, there's no downside as long as they keep winning. And I think Devin Booker's at a level now where they're going to keep winning.
The highest level possible. He's in the elite form. He's ready to go, making the leap, not unlike Tom Cruise in his church. Here we go, stealing spleens, enjoying the world that it is that we know to be one. Yeah, I think it should be. It's fun. That's the great thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think the NBA, the regular season, as much as it matters to a certain extent, you just try to keep everybody healthy, or get everybody healthy by the time you can make a run. Right?
That's it. That's the game. That's the game.
And they can be entertaining while they're doing that now. So that's what I think is great about the Suns is they can keep it together. They can play entertaining and win games while everybody isn't playing. But I said, John Ireland, right?
Oh, yeah.
I said to John years ago, I go, Booker, something's different about this guy. And he goes, he's a good shooter. I go, I think he's more than just a shooter. I think I don't want to compare him to Michael Jordan because but that determination, like that fire, that dog.
Oh, yeah.
Booker is the guy that you just.
He's a killer.
Yeah. He's opposite of DeAndre Ayton.
Exactly.
He's the guy that he's like, I'm going to take that shot. Well, you're guarded by 5 guys. I'll make it.
Yeah.
He's Jimmy
Chitwood.
Jimmy Chitwood. Yeah.
Jimmy Chitwood.
Yeah. It's exactly what it is. It's Hoosiers. But Booker's, he's going to will shots to go in. So I think it's a lot of fun.
Frank Caliendo's in studio with us here on Bickley and Marotta Mornings. Going to stick around for another one, too, right?
Yeah, I'm sticking around. I'll stick around
cool.
through Bobby if you let me.
You got questions for Bobby?
Oh, I know Bobby pretty well. I've been to a practice, so I'll.
Okay, you can
we
stick
can
around.
go Walton.
Absolutely.
What's going on? What is happening on the court? You destroy Vanderbilt, but have trouble with BYU. What's going on? Go tell it on the mountain.
It's Frank Caliendo in for another segment with us this morning. Frank's got a show coming up at 2 shows coming up. Stand Up Live, December 9th. That's a Saturday night. Tickets are available 6 o'clock and 8:30. Just go to standuplive.com to get those tickets.
My neighbor Rod Lenz says I'm crushing it this morning too, guys. Just so you know, he listens to you guys all the time.
Yeah, you are crushing
and he always tells me, "Well, Bickley and Marotta." I'm like, I don't care what they have to say. I don't care what their sports. Although every sports take you guys had this morning, even discussion, has been something I've cared about.
There you go. See,
look, we're hitting the marks, Bick.
We are,
Yeah,
baby.
I don't know. I
We
don't know
are.
if I'm the standard audience, but yeah, you're hitting me. The other thing, was there something else? Anything else for this segment, or what was the?
I was just plugging your show.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did I cut that off? You can do it again if you want.
6 o'clock, 8:30, Saturday, December 9th, Stand Up Live, downtown Phoenix. The great Frank Caliendo.
I had a question. Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'd rather you didn't.
Shut up, Jared.
Do you have any idea? If you're not in this room, I don't want to hear from you. The other side of the glass, you might as well be on the other side of the Pacific Ocean. By the way, the Pac-12. This is the last year, the Conference of Champions. Now the Conference of Consolation.
I was wondering, because for so many years you had John Madden, then you did John Gruden, and then you did Tony Romo.
Oh,
Especially during the pandemic, that really shot up. With
here we go, Jim.
Tony,
That's really good. Yeah.
Do you have a new broadcaster that you've been working on?
Do I have a new? I've done less sports stuff. There is some of the sports stuff, but I've been trying to broaden the audience even more. It's a lot more other impressions. Like for some reason, Seth Rogen has been destroying. I didn't even know I did it. There you go.
John C. Reilly, I guess that would be pretty fun to do. Did you touch my drum set? That's, by the way, my favorite Christmas Carol, the little drummer boy, because he touched my drum set.
Let's see. Another. I'm gonna do a quick little anecdote here. A little story. I got a call from Jim Nantz. I didn't answer it right away because I didn't know the number, and he left a message, Frankie. Because when I do Nantz and Romo, I can really only do Nantz like it's somebody's playing with the VU meter or somebody's playing with the dials on the soundboard. Like it's Tony Romo's like a car starting up. So it's like, oh, Jim. My daughter's a huge F1 fan, so we went to Vegas F1, which was something
Like
we could talk about
debacle,
another
but yeah.
time. There was the race was great. Everything else was very weird. But Romo's like the car's doing a lap coming past you. Oh, Jim. So, and then Nantz, all I could really do is Tony, because whenever there's something exciting happens, he does that. So Nantz, I probably still have it. It leaves me a message, Frankie. Hello, Frank. Jim Nantz. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's funny.
Oh, so fantastic. I ended up calling back right away, and I was like, oh, I didn't know it was you, and we talked for a while. He's like, they've done it on the broadcast, my Nantz and Romo, where here we go, Jim. And Nantz screws it up. He's like, here we go, Tony. No, Jim. Jim, I'm smiling through my Skechers here. This is really, really good. So I'm trying to think if there is another sports person that I've been doing newly.
It's hard. There's not as many personalities anymore in the booths.
I got a suggestion.
Yeah, who's that?
You got to get the McAfee down.
Yeah,
he's everywhere.
I've worked on a little bit of Pat McAfee. I'm trying to think what he. Here we go inside. It's that whole. He's got that. It comes in here. Get the Pittsburghese.
Yep.
I don't have it set to like it's like muscle memory.
Right.
Like when I get I can just go Morgan Freeman whenever I want.
Right.
Like that type of thing. And now we got Tony Romo stuck in there. So that's Pat McAfee.
It's funny
Here we go.
when you can't get a certain voice out of your head and he just stays
Oh, it's
there.
stuck there. It's stuck there. It's really ridiculous, Jim. Because Jim, here we go, Jim. Tony.
Now, you said you were doing with Dave Pash. You said you did Jack Nicholson doing Ron Wolfley.
Oh yeah, there were
Wolfleyisms.
Yeah, Pash has
lay
it out
some
there.
on us.
Yeah, do you have any? I'm trying to think of what just that one of them was like pitter patter, the tiny little legs of Kyler Murray making his way to the outside and finally finding his way out of bounds. He's learned so much, hasn't he? Don't take the hit. It's not 1985. Nobody's putting you on their all-turducken team. Make it to the end of the season so somebody can decide what to do with you.
I would be into a full broadcast of that.
Oh, we didn't even know it. So Pash and I were. He just calls out names and he reads some of his calls and his and Wolf's calls, and we just for some reason threw it. I don't even do Jack Nicholson a lot because it's so old, but then I looked at it and I'm like, all these work. Everything that Wolf says is like, find the guy in the barn and turn him down toward the saddle. What does that mean? Why is that pig floating on the Ethernet? What is that? Where do you come up? Sometimes you listen to Wolf and you're like, how did you put those two things together? And you wonder, is that a colloquialism from Pennsylvania or something? And you go, and it turns out, I've checked, no.
No, it's just a Wolf
They're
thing.
just things floating around in his mind. See, he turns into Bill Walton and Jesse the Body Ventura. You had no idea. Yeah, so I don't know where we're going with this stuff.
No, it's you're entertaining us is what we're doing.
Oh, that's okay. Then I'm good.
Yeah,
then
no,
I'm
it's good.
Yeah. But you guys were talking also about the Cardinals, and it is that interesting time where it's like embrace the tank. I'm all for that at this point. I think you can do it a season. I think you can as a fan. You'll put up with it for a season for the most part. It's when you go to 2 and 3 seasons and you don't see anything building, and this feels like, hey, this is the time. Take a look and see what you can get.
Yeah.
But my son, again, I listened to what Joey says. He said he's like, let's say you get the 1 pick and you go for Caleb Williams. Does he change the outcome of the game this week? No. So there is that. I don't think it changes that much at that point. If you were to say, no, we're moving on from Kyler Murray, but then who's going to take his contract, that kind of thing. It's like, I don't think he changes that much. If you go and you get Marvin Harrison, if you can get Marvin Harrison Jr., I think that changes the
They could really use him.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody.
Well, anybody could, but they need a number 1 receiver. They haven't had one since D-Hop left.
Yeah.
No.
Which wasn't that long ago.
No, it's true.
It just feels that way.
True.
It just...
well, because this was about the time last year he stopped playing, right?
Well, there you go. Right. Made that business decision.
That's when you go, we call that the James Harden. All of a sudden, you look like you're wearing Zion Williamson's sweatpants.
We watched Zion last night a little bit. My son was flipping around. We have YouTube TV, so we're just watching all the games and stuff. And Zion... He does look like a creative player at this point. I was all in on him at Duke. I was like, this guy. They kept saying 283. He's a spry 283.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing like he does that straight-legged run too, that Zion run, and he remember when he used to go for blocks and he would do like the LeBron block from half. He'd chase down from half court and block a 3-pointer. There's none of that. He's chasing down dessert right now.
Yes, he is. He's a big man right now.
He's like a guy that you go at you go to Lifetime and you see him play and you're like, that guy's actually pretty good. I wonder when he stopped playing. And that's kind of what Zion looks. And I want him to be great.
I know he could have been. Yeah.
What do you think that's a function of? It's just you get too much too early? Is that what that is?
That and there is no financial necessity to be.
That's what I mean.
Right,
I mean
there's that. And the fact that some guys just struggle with that. James Harden struggles with it. Luka has never gotten into tip-top shape. The truly Nikola Jokic. That's the story of Jokic. He got into tip-top shape, and now he's
tip-top
a monster.
shape
For him.
You have to qualify that.
For
you
him.
have to have comma for him.
What? Yeah.
Dash for him.
But those guys haven't found it for them.
Well, there's a certain thing. Luka and Jokic both have it. They're wide.
Yeah.
So and
Yeah,
when
that
you're
is
wide
true.
and have long arms,
Yeah.
that's when it's hard for guys. Everybody fits a prototype in the NBA, right? That's what you're looking. Not everybody, but lots of guys. Is the long arms. What's your wingspan? What's your standing reach? Vertical jump, and they try to teach you some of it. If you don't have IQ at all, you're never gonna get good. But if there's only so much they could teach you with that. You have to have some instincts and stuff like that. I've talked to guys, some GMs where we talked to them at Summer League. They're like, we'll teach them how to shoot. We'll teach guys how to shoot. We're just looking for guys who fit the mold. So when you look at like Grayson Allen, like I watch Grayson Allen, and I watch him a couple games live. I don't get it on TV. You watch him, and he goes, that guy's hustling. I know people have like negative things to say about him, but that guy's hustling constantly. He looks like he is struggling to run, but he doesn't mind it. Like he's pushing through. He's like me on the treadmill after 5 minutes of working out.
Yeah.
Just going, I can make it 4 miles per hour. Yeah, I watch him and what's his name? Who's the other guard?
Eric Gordon.
They're almost the same body type. Pretty long arms, about 6'3", 6'4", right? Yeah. Somewhere in there. But they knock down the shots.
They've been great this
year. And
they
get in front of you. I don't know. It's interesting to watch.
Where else are you going to get this? Comedy, impressions, player breakdowns.
A little bit.
Frank Caliendo is here.
This is the Sun Devil Fast Break with ASU men's head basketball coach Bobby Hurley. The Sun Devil Fast Break is presented by Accident Law Group.
Sun Devils split a pair in Las Vegas over the Thanksgiving weekend. They're home to take on Sam Houston State. Tomorrow in Tempe, we're joined for our weekly visit with the head coach of Arizona State, Bobby Hurley. An extra voice in studio this week, Bobby. You know Frank Caliendo, right?
Yeah, it's so great to hear from you guys, and great having Frank on board, too. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did. Thank you so much. It was kind of a mixed weekend for you guys. The tough game to start things out against BYU, a rough go offensively, but really nice bounce back. You score 82 points, hit free throws, shot the ball well. Just talk about that turnaround, if you could, Bobby.
Yeah, well, the BYU game was really disappointing. Not one of my finer Thanksgiving efforts for sure. I'm probably one of the few Americans that didn't have a bite of food on Thanksgiving.
Wow!
Stomach was in knots after that performance. But I think BYU is just further ahead than we are right now. They're just they're older. They brought back 8 players. They could really shoot. They were physical. They were a lot more physical than we were in that game. So. It was good to see our team respond the way we did in less than 24 hours to come back and kind of handily win, our next performance versus Vanderbilt. And I think it goes to being the simplicity of making a shot because we couldn't make a layup. We had a hard time making free throws, couldn't make an open three. And then all of a sudden, the ball started going in the basket very early in that game versus Vanderbilt.
And one of the turnarounds against Vanderbilt, Alonzo Gaffney shooting the ball, 5 3-pointers. I think he was 1 for 17.
1 for 17 going into the game. And what does he do? He squares up. Bobby gives him the green light and says, go for it. Make it happen. Turkey Day is gone. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Make it happen. That's what this is all about. Bobby Hurley has been there before 1992. Player of the tournament, Christian Leighton. Who cares if he hit the shot against Kentucky? It doesn't matter. The tiny little man from St. Anthony's, his brother and father will be talked about in basketball perpetuity. I'm not even sure what the word perpetuity means, but I know that it's a multisyllabic syndication that is ready for action. And Bobby, let me kind of tell you something. Bobby was doing some recruiting.
Hey, I need this every week just to get my week going.
Bobby I love Bobby because he's super honest. And in college basketball, that's one of the hardest things to come across. So Bobby's been super honest. He and my son were talking to him about all kinds of stuff that I'm not going to talk about here, but it was like super great stuff and super cool to hear some inside stuff. And I remember he was recruiting some guys, and it was in the stands about 3-4 years ago. And a guy in a Michigan jersey goes, he recognized Bobby, didn't recognize me at all, but he recognized Bobby. He goes, oh, love you, man. Love what you're doing. And I turned to Bobby and go, nobody from Michigan loves you. Nobody from Michigan has ever loved you. They hated you. And we all hated you across the country. We were all staring at you. Every time something called in go your way, that face he would make is like, like it was probably the face he made if he tried to eat something on Thanksgiving this year. What is it? And he did. And we went to. I got to go. I invited myself to a practice, Bobby's practice, which the team camaraderie with all the new guys. It was pretty cool to watch as they're coming together. They practice hard. I mean, these guys go hard. And we're watching. And it was just fun to watch that coming across. And Bobby goes, yeah, I've calmed down a lot. I got to get the nasal to get a Bobby Hurley. I've got to figure out how he's somewhere in there. It's a work in progress, Bobby. Don't even chime in. I'm crushing right now. I got to work on a Coach K too. Like, wow, that's why I got on in this.
Right, that's good.
I've never done a Coach K before.
Bobby, what were you going to say?
How about the Michigan thing? I mean, we beat Michigan for Josh Christopher. It was us in Michigan, and then
that's right.
We got Frankie Collins, and then last year we had Michigan and New York. So Michigan's been good to me, guys.
Yes, that's true.
Frankie Collins distributing, ready to play. Here we are watching a player at his level. He can sky out of the gym. He can go. He plays hard, goes hard to the hole. The abilities, the agility. There they are, making it happen. This is a team. We're waiting for them to come together. That's the way. The Avengers weren't all together at first. Captain America was just a tiny little guy. He hadn't taken the super soldier serum yet. He wasn't ready. And now we're looking at what a team these guys could be, and it will take that time. And Bobby is the Nick Fury to bring them together, the Tony Stark. Get Zane Meeks on the outside. Get him to hit some threes at 6'9", that transfer ready to go. Come on. What are we doing here? Jose Perez in his 40th year of college basketball. He's ready to go. This is a man, he's making the team better, distributing. You'd think a guy who's been around that long wouldn't know he would go be playing for himself, but no, he's getting the ball to the guys who need to get to the basket, making the decisions. Like you guys did. Unlike you guys did by letting me on with Bobby and not giving him a chance to talk.
We got 1 minute left.
All right.
I'm going to go grab a coffee, fellas. I'll come back.
Now, you got a couple of home games coming up against Sam Houston, I think, Sam Houston State. And then
San Francisco.
Then San Francisco, whom, if you had the kind of team that you owe them something is what I'm trying to say. But I guess the question is, there are no gimmies in college basketball anymore. What do you want to see from your team moving forward, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, Sam Houston State is maybe not the name that instills fear in your heart, but, they were an NCAA tournament team last year, won 26 games. They played at Ole Miss a few weeks ago and lost 80-77. So they've already competed well against power programs and proven that competitive. And San Francisco the night beat one at Minnesota, so they're and pretty handily. So. And I don't know how many guys are really upset about the San Francisco loss. I mean, I have 3 guys returning from that team, so most of them didn't have to endure, that situation. We'll try and certainly discuss it as we get prepared for them. But our main attention right now is on Sam Houston.
Bobby, good to talk to you, even though we didn't talk much.
Yeah, even though you didn't get to talk much. He's taking
man.
over our show, man.
I could do this anytime with Frank. Frank's the best.
He is the best.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Good
See
luck.
you,
We'll talk to you next week. Bobby Hurley, our guest every week here on the Bickley and Marotta Morning. Sun Devils taking on Sam
Bobby
Houston
from
State
Tempe, great call.
What is up?
What is up? Bobby Caliendo getting involved in the plug for Bobby. The weekly call about the ASU Sun Devils. What did we find out? They're getting better, and Bobby didn't eat at Thanksgiving because Caliendo hogged the microphone. Dude does not get when it's not his turn. But Bobby, who sounded thrilled today, seemed incredibly happy that Caliendo was hogging. Nice job.
Frank, you're killing us, man.
Wow. Great seeing you again, man.
Yeah, thanks for
coming
keeping
in.
me through Bobby too.
No, that was fantastic.
He really is a great dude. I'll
is.
tell you,
We
what,
enjoy
I-
talking
it's,
to him,
I enjoy, and I'm going to go to a couple. My son goes to ASU, and my daughter I think is going there next year. So
Frank Caliendo, Stand Up Live, Saturday, December 9th, 6 o'clock show, 8:30 show. Get your tickets. You're going to laugh like we laughed today. Frank, great to see you, man. Thanks for coming in.
rack me, I am out.
Epic.